Hello friends, welcome to Art and Purulia. I am Turit Mahato. In this video series, we have been discussing on how we can improve upon our watercolor paintings by knowing our paints better. And to do so, we have been working on some basic exercises with the paints. This is the third and final part of this series. In the first part, we have seen basic color chart where we made swatches with our paints. In the next part, that is the second part, we have seen color mixing chart where we mix two colors to make a third one. One chart, though important, I haven't shown in the series is the color wheel chart, since I had already made a video on this topic earlier. Today we'll see glazing chart, or how the technique of glazing makes difference in the painting process. One of the most important techniques of watercolor painting is glazing or layering. The technique makes use of the main or the most wonderful property of watercolor, that is transparency. This property makes watercolor different from all other medium. When we apply a layer of transparent paint over an already applied but dried layer of paint, it's called glazing. If we glaze yellow over blue, we will get green, and if we glaze yellow over red, we will get orange, and if you glaze yellow over yellow, it makes it even deeper and brighter yellow. The effect you get is not same as that when you mix directly on palette or even on paper. You can see through the bottom layer. Some paints make beautiful colors and effects over other paints, and that's where this glazing chart will make the difference, and it will be most useful for you to understand. To prepare the glazing chart, I'll take both cool and warm shades of the primary colors, that is red, yellow and blue, and also add yellow ochre and viridian in this list. You may choose any other colors also if you feel, and you can see the difference. You will be able to appreciate the difference in effects in cool and warm shades definitely. Let's prepare the glazing chart now. Begin by preparing a grid for your glazing chart. With a ruler and pencil, mark out the horizontal and vertical lines between which you will lay down the paints. Draw one vertical and horizontal line for each color. Prepare your chosen watercolors. Either squeeze out a fresh spot of paint from a tube, or if you are using pans, make sure each color is clean by rinsing them with clear water. Mix a thin wash for each of your colors. If your paint is too thick, the glazing will be difficult to see. I recommend you start painting with the lightest hues first. In my case, the yellows. Make sure your brush is completely clean, since yellow is easily contaminated with any other residual color on your brush or in your palette. When you have painted all of the colored lines in one direction, leave them to dry thoroughly. This is where you need to be patient. If you paint over the first lines while they are still wet, the colors will lift and bleed, and the glazing effect will be lost. You can see I made the same mistake here. I started glazing before the first layer was completely dry, and see the bottom layer is getting mixed. When the paint has dried, paint your colored lines in the other direction using a single continuous pass of the brush. This is the most delicate part, but if you avoid scrubbing your brush over the underlying paint, all will be fine. Now that brings us to an end of this video. We have made a beautiful glazing chart. Once you are done all the 4 charts, including the color wheel, you will realize through the swatch charts you have understood the actual hues of the paint tubes or cakes. In the color wheel, which I have not demonstrated in this video, you will learn about the primary, secondary and tertiary colors and their adjacent and opposite properties. In the mixing chart, you know which paints are required to mix a certain shade of paint. In the glazing chart, you will realize how the paints make a different shade and effect when glazed over one another. And I want to disclose one more secret for better paintings here. Instead of mixing thoroughly on the palette, which makes a flat mix, pick the paints which you want to mix on the brush separately and apply on the paper. The effect with both the paints will be more appealing and have textures. Both the colors will be seen separately also in some places, and they will mix in most of the places. It will have a different effect. And it will not look flat. It will be much more appealing and interesting. I hope this video would be of some use to you. Please consider subscribing the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and healthy. See you.